Hey there, it's going down. My name is Joe Escobedo. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about how to go viral on LinkedIn. So it's kind of a controversial topic, and that's why I have my special guest today. There we are, Miss Nina Blankenship, who is the CEO of Let's Brainstorm and the co-founder of Crypto Tutors. Thanks so much for being on the show,
Yeah.
Nina.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've known each other for a while. I've always been a big fan of your content. I always use an example as someone who is doing extremely well on LinkedIn, creating these very engaging videos, and they always did go viral. So people always ask me how to go viral. I tell them, like, I don't know the answer, but talk to Nina. She can, give you some good insight. So, yeah, man, would love to just hear kind of your journey. What are some of the things that have worked for you on going viral? I know you have some examples and stuff you want to share with us.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because when I first started out on my journey, and I was studying other influencers and researching other people, people were bringing up your name as well. So I was definitely looking you up, and I think we were engaging in each other's content. And at first I was like, who is this Joe, like, liking my content? And it's an example of how through viral video of people engaging in your content, you can actually develop some really great friendships and networking relationships. And then I think when I was visiting the Hong Kong office, you actually were at an event and you email messaged me through LinkedIn. We're like, I'm here. Do you want to meet up? And we ended up saying hi to each other and been able to keep in touch ever since then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that is definitely one of the interesting phenomenons of kind of being in the limelight, particularly on LinkedIn, is you kind of get to know each other like through your content first. And then obviously, we met through events, we were chatting and stuff like that. And we ended up working at LinkedIn together in the same office. So it's funny how things work out eventually.
You heard your way from a LinkedIn
Exactly.
event to a LinkedIn employee.
I wiggled my way in there. I sneaked my way in there for the LinkedIn folks watching. I apologize, but yes, I did wiggle my way as a LinkedIn employee for a bit. So yeah, it was fun too.
No,
Yeah.
you're a great asset, though. I know many times I would come up to you and we all have different strengths. It's like there's no one person that knows everything about marketing. There's so many different elements. And I remember you were sitting on a different floor than me. And many times I'd go up and just pick your brain and let's brainstorm about your ideas for a different content strategy that I was working on. So thanks so much for always just being open and so kind and taking the time to brainstorm.
Yeah, no worries, my pleasure. And nice branding. I have no branding. I should have like a slide or something in the background, but we'll get there one day. And so, yeah, like I said, I've been following you for a long time. Your posts literally did always go viral on LinkedIn, and there had to been some kind of method behind the madness. So, would love to hear from your point of view. What were some of the things that you did to really elevate kind of your post?
Absolutely. So if you go to letsbrainstorm.com and you check out network activation, I really just spill the beans on a lot of the details of the behind the scenes of what I did. And I even have an e-learning course coming out where I also share all of the details that go into the whole network activation strategy. But the number one tip that I would give to people or even brands, because a lot of times I think many companies think about themselves as a brand. And when my job at LinkedIn, for example, being responsible for the APAC region for their search and staffing customers, they would have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. But yet the employees that work for them, if you took all of their individual first degree connections, were always at least 10x of their followers. So instead of leading first with always your brand, you need to do a combination. What if you could activate the network of your own employees? And if you don't have full-time employees, you can use contractors, you can use people that are advocates of your brand as well, and leverage their connections. So this is what I always advocate. And there's a whole strategy behind it of having an individual goal, whether that's lead generation, So on the website, I talk about how at LinkedIn, when I was there, there was a new product that came out and we wanted to generate new leads to be able to increase awareness for this new product. And right away, within under 2 weeks, we were generating, hundreds of leads through organic video of employees that work for LinkedIn. And the same thing can be done for your company as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm a big believer in terms of leveraging your employees to amplify what you're doing, because at the end of the day, people relate to people more than they do brands. So I think that's something to keep in mind as well. I know there's some tips. Yeah.
And I used to also, just like a confession I have to make, I came from recruitment. And back in the day when I was in recruitment, I never would accept a lot of people's connection requests. This is before I was working for LinkedIn. And I used to be a connection snob, and I wouldn't ever connect with anybody unless I thought I could place them into a job. And that's like really one of my regrets in life, is like, I wish I would have just accepted more people's connections, because, when you're able to trigger the algorithm of LinkedIn, which I personally just believe from experience, nothing that LinkedIn would ever, confide in me to tell. But I just noticed that when you're able to increase your own individual connections, like a lot of people are saying, how can I as an individual, elevate my own personal brand, and how can I gain a lot more awareness for my individual posts? Well, the average person on LinkedIn has 500 connections. So if you want to be above average, you need to have thousands of connections. And with LinkedIn, you can send out 100 connection requests at a time. And then for every person that accepts, you get another connection back. So you easily, in a couple of months can have thousands of new connections.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one way. I'm going to take a counter argument, because I think that you're up for the task. Is what about the question people ask around quality versus quantity? So let's say I have 20, and I see this quite a lot. You see some influencers with like 40, 50,000 followers, but they have like two likes and one person commenting on it. So what are your thoughts on managing or balancing the quality of your followers or network versus the quantity of it?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on who you're connecting with, right? But in that situation, I was specifically talking about, the people who send the connection request to you. And as you start posting more, you'll notice that people will take the initiative and connect with you. Of course, now do I send out connection requests? Absolutely. And you definitely should be. And the algorithm does not care about the number in terms of like the percentage of engagement to your post of the number of connections. It only cares about the volume of connections. So I definitely would not connect to somebody who I think has a fake profile or just there to spam you. But if you think that they could be interesting because they're in a different industry or a different function, or maybe just like a fan of yours, just accept their connection requests, because they're the ones that will be triggering the engagement. And I always, tell people who like my comment, oh, thanks for liking it. I really appreciate your support. And that really motivates them to continue supporting me and to continue to liking the post.
Yeah, I think you bring up another good point, and I think this is a tip for anyone watching, is thanking the audience. So once again, if you're getting a lot of this engagement, if people are supporting your content, what can you do to actually show your appreciation for what they're doing? Obviously, you mentioned direct messaging them and thanking them. What are some other ways in which you can demonstrate kind of your appreciation?
Yeah, I always just let them know, like, what am I up to? Give them the inside scoop. Be like, oh, I'm actually working on, a project. Like right now, I'm working on releasing my e-learning course. So I let them know, because I already have an e-learning course on LinkedIn Learning right now called Video Strategies for High Engagement. But I'm coming out with another course called How to Elevate Your Personal Brand on LinkedIn. And that's really exciting, where I give all the details, my personal secrets and best practices.
Yeah, no,
it gets them like excited, and they get that they're like, oh my God, cool.
Yes, that's once again the same. I'm very guilty of. I have an online course now on creating engaging LinkedIn content, and I'm terrible at promoting it. So I definitely learn from you in terms of how you promote your courses and kind of the business as well. I want to talk about some of the other things that you've been doing, but first off, like I said, are there any additional tips, any examples of, because people will ask, like I said, if you're watching, you have questions, people already are mentioning, they're saying, you know what, Nina is a genius, and I absolutely agree. People are saying LinkedIn hires the best and brightest. In Nina's case, yes. In my case, not so much.
It's not true. But I absolutely recommend tagging people. So many people are afraid to tag, but this is one of my key tips that ends up triggering the algorithm to get more engagement. So, for example, if you do a post and you don't tag anybody, well, that's not going to get as much engagement compared to if you tag 20 people in your post. And I don't mean just keep on tagging the same 20 people in every post, but really like either come up with categories of where these people could fit into, or just think about who would genuinely be interested in the topic that you're talking about. So, if you tag 20 people and they all liked your post, that's now going to go out to their connections as well.
Yeah, so it's an interesting point. Someone was just mentioning this on the previous episode about a half an hour ago, is, the importance of tagging people. And my question was, how do you know when to tag people? When is it too much? Because I get tagged a lot in things and it becomes a bit spammy at times. So I guess, how do you, once again, balance between tagging people who might find it helpful and then as well as avoiding spamming people all the time?
I guess it's common sense. I don't know. Like if it depends on the quality of your content, right? Like if you're just posting up like a basic photo made in Canva and nothing really cool about it, and then just putting some text on there, I don't know, maybe it's not that great. But if it's really a cool video or an article that is innovative and people are on LinkedIn are here to learn, so if it's something that they can learn from you, then why not? Because everybody on LinkedIn wants to always, constantly improve themselves. So I think that if they really don't want to be tagged, they should tell you, like, they don't want to be tagged in it. And if you're really nervous about it, you can always, when you're, gaining subscribers or gaining followers to your channel or to your profile on LinkedIn, you can always ask people, do you mind if I tag you in content related to a specific topic, and tell them what the topic is and get their permission ahead of time if you're worried about it.
That's a really good tip. I think for those who want to play it safe, is I once again, I'm jotting down some ideas because you have some very, very good points here, and coming up with the categories. So I'm thinking in my mind having like Google Sheets of like all the people that may be interested in what you're doing, having different categories. Maybe it's by industry, or maybe it's by category, B2C, B2B, or so on, and then having that list and say, look, I'm going to be sharing some content around this particular topic. Is this something you might find helpful? So I think that is a good tip for anyone kind of who wants to do this, but wants to do it in a right way. So I think always asking consent is the safest way. Obviously, if they say yes, then that's a good sign that they're willing to continue and willing to actually engage with your post. So once again, you're teaching me something new. I'm excited. Thank you so much, Nina. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Just think about it like this. Go to your cell phone and come up with the different categories and start putting people in the different categories that you often text, and just ask them, hey, do you mind supporting me? And can I tag you in posts on LinkedIn related to this topic? I'd really appreciate your support if, when you're on LinkedIn, if you could like the post, that would really help me because I'm trying to elevate my personal brand. And, imagine if all of your employees did this, and, through a strategic method, with a system in place, you could really get a lot of engagement for specific posts that you have a specific KPI in mind for, in terms of, let's say, lead generation or followers to your company page. If you could activate your employees to do that through network activation.
Yeah, no, I think it's another good point in terms of being more process driven with what you're doing, in terms of, like you said, if you have an initiative that you're trying to promote, highlighting that and making sure that you're conveying it to the right employees. Maybe not necessarily sharing, what message they should be writing, but say, hey, look, we're going to launch this product, we're going to launch this new course, whatever it is, and then having them go out and share it as well. giving them a heads up as well too before you even do it, I think is a good rule of thumb. Obviously, there's different technologies you can leverage to, reach that mass, critical mass. But I think it's important that you even have these processes in place, that people are even aware before you even started publishing it. What is it that you're actually talking about? So I think that's a really good point. Another good point in terms of the quality. So obviously, if you're putting out crap quality content, like just a Canva image, best not to post anyone because no one wants to see it anyways. But I think to your point, if you are putting out quality stuff, tagging the right people, giving them a heads up beforehand can be a great way to spark that engagement. And I'm definitely going to try that going forward. So thank you so much for that, Fanina. Anything else? Otherwise, I want to switch gears and I want to talk about some of the other topics that we had in mind today.
Nope, that's it. Yeah, about that.
Oh, good. Sweet. So the other thing I want to talk about, and this is something that's popped up recently, is audio branding. We're going to call it audio branding because I don't know of another way to describe it. It's leveraging, different audio for marketing and sales purposes. And I know you have one example that you're going to share with us in a little bit, but take the folks through what is audio branding. How do you leverage it in your businesses? Because it's quite interesting.
Absolutely. If you're familiar with Pavlov's dog, the whole philosophy behind that is being able to create a custom song or a custom jingle for your corporation. And that's what we do at Let's Brainstorm. We have a custom song, a music team, and we compose the beats, we mix it, we produce it. And imagine if there was a really cool song that people just wanted to listen to anyways. Imagine it being on Apple Music or Spotify, and that got them to evoke some sort of emotion within themselves to just naturally, as a natural reaction, to do something. And so in this example, is this the Crypto Tutors one that you have, for example?
Yeah. Can you share it on your screen?
Yeah. Sure. So for example, I'll just tee it up and explain a little bit about it. But in Crypto Tutors, what it is, it's an e-learning company that I'm also a co-founder of, and I'm spending a lot of time creating the content. So Let's Brainstorm creates all of the content for Crypto Tutors, and we have an e-learning course and we have a group of tutors. So if you're ever interested in wanting to learn about cryptocurrency, we have simplified cryptocurrency because cryptocurrency is complicated. There's over 8,000 cryptocurrencies, and we wanted to make learning fun and provide some edutainment. And I think that when you listen to the video, you'll see that you'll just naturally be saying Crypto Tutors, and the song sort of gets stuck in your head. And then you be like thinking naturally, oh, maybe I should learn about Crypto Tutors and cryptocurrency. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think we were grooving right before. So if you're able to bring it back up again and share that. But I think while you're queuing that up, it's a very good point is, audio branding is not anything new. You think of like McDonald's, dun, 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 and even the rise of audio nowadays, you think of things like, obviously podcasts are getting bigger. Clubhouse is taking the role by storm. So audio, interesting, has become more prevalent in recent times. And so I think to your point, having these audio representations or even songs, becoming the Dr. Dre of your space is an interesting one. So I know you have it queued up. Let's go ahead and play it now so people don't have to hear me rambling. Let's go ahead and start grooving. All right. Let's see if we can.
Crypto Tutors, Crypto Tutors, Crypto Tutors. Hey, it's a way making money in my sleep.
Oh, hold on.
No worries. I'm just gonna just have the screen on you, and you can be grooving for like.
Here it goes.
Making money in my sleep, step by step, click by click. Waves, Bitcoin, stablecoin, we got the tips. Get ahead of the curve, time is now. Bitcoin at 40,000. What's the new cash cow? Become a tutor, make money from your knowledge. Turn the risk into wealth. We decentralized college. Enroll today before it's too late. and get the bag. The future now awaits.
Crypto, tutors, crypto, tutors, crypto, tutors. Hey.
It's a way. Making money in my sleep.
All right.
Making money in my sleep.
Yeah, so that's really cool because that video is on our YouTube channel at Crypto Tutors if you want to check it out on YouTube. And you know, I think we're the first company to provide representation for females in terms of cryptocurrency, in terms of diverse communities, no matter what your background is. And we're trying to make cryptocurrency less intimidating and more fun for everyone. So check it out and enjoy the song. But I think that's really like the future of all branding for every company, is to have a cool song that isn't corny, and people really want to listen to that. And it's now, yeah, like I said, it's now on iTunes and Spotify too, so you can like jam out to it in your car. And so imagine if you're, you know, whatever company, you know, that you're from, that you're working for, imagine if you all had your own custom song that was cool and that everyone wanted to listen to. You would definitely have a lot more brand recall there, regardless if you want to or not. Like, that song is stuck in your head.
Absolutely. I think, you know, as someone with 2 young kids, one thing that I see the power of every day is the power of songs. You know, my son was singing Old MacDonald for like 20 minutes straight this morning while getting dressed for school. So the same thing applies, like, even now. I mean, I'm constantly singing different songs in my head or at the house. So there's a lot of power. And I think Kenneth, who's watching, brings up a very good point. Kenneth says the da-dum sound by Netflix comes to mind when I think of audio branding. And I think, yes, absolutely. That is an excellent kind of example. Anytime you even hear that sound, you know it's Netflix. You don't have to see the logo. You don't have to see the brand. You know that's the Netflix sound. So yeah, I think definitely you're onto something. And I think taking it one next level, having the sound is great, but then having a catchy song that you can release as well helps with brand recall and recognition. So yes, very, very, very good points. And I know this has kind of contributed to some of the success I want to talk about that you've had. If I have this correctly, you have a 23% increase in daily subscribers for the YouTube channel. Was that correct? All right. Yeah. Maybe you want to take me through. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just launched on the 19th, and we've just launched the brand, and I think that the song is definitely part of it. I think the other videos that we have, part of our playlist is to have a series called the Crypto Couch, where we interview the latest trailblazers on cryptocurrency and blockchain. And part of that is, do you mind if maybe I show it first? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. No worries.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool to share the screen of what I'm talking about here. And maybe I'll just put it on mute as I talk. Is that possible?
All right. Yeah,
Try
sure.
it. Try it. Okay.
All right, I'll bring it up now.
Oh,
all right.
Okay. I guess I'm still sharing from last time. Okay, cool. So as you can see here, this is Casimir, super pro when it comes to NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. And Lisa, who is another co-founder of Crypto Tutors. And Lisa is actually located, when we recorded this video, in Orlando. And Casimir is at the time in Mexico. But you would never know that, right, by looking at this. It legit looks like they're in the same room together. And how we did that, well, we have a behind the scenes episode coming on the Let's Brainstorm YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about that, the ins and outs of it. But it's really because, we shoot with, a green image behind us, and we use animation. So that's all animated to make it look like they're sitting on the same couch together. And we're noticing that that's, a big feedback in this sort of like COVID era, is that people want to know, how can I bring people together with all these Zoom phone conversations. How can we make people feel like they're in the same room together? And so Let's Brainstorm does this. We can have guests on the crypto couch. We can even customize it to be branded for your company with the imagery and the branding and the colors. And imagine like different executives or people, in your every office usually has like a common room or a space. And, if you just recreated that in the digital space, so that way, whenever you're doing events or conferences, people could see that.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's, once again, a very creative way of bringing people together in a virtual, environment. Is it a virtual background they're using, or is it a green screen? What is it that they're using to get that effect?
Yeah, so on that video, we just used a bright green image that is, I just used my iPad, and you can through Zoom or whatever platform, we used Zoom on that one, and attached a neon green image, and then because of that, then you can just put the different backgrounds that you want on top of that, and you can. That couch is a 3D animated couch, and the background's like a 2D virtual, a 2D animated background. So, but yeah, you would be interested in the behind the scenes episode that's coming soon then. So check it out, subscribe to our channel, and you can see all of the details where we break it down. It's like a 30-minute episode where we go into all the details of it.
That's awesome. Like I said, I really love the idea. I think it's incredibly smart and clever and innovative. And I think also the behind the scenes, I think that's something that, a lot of people are interested as well these days. I interviewed another executive who has kind of a B2B reality TV series about herself. So I think people are more interested in kind of these behind the scenes, kind of what it takes to create this. I mean, I know I'm very interested in, what was the process behind creating it? How'd you come with the ideas? So a lot of people are interested in these, and I don't think that brands are really leveraging these behind the scene videos as much as they probably could be.
Yeah, I mean, organizations put so much effort into everything that they do. And, at the Let's Brainstorm team, we have in between, 20 to 30 people that are on the team. I call them my creative geniuses. And they're fantastic. The skills, there's no way that one business person can know every skill set that potentially 30 people or 20 people have. And, we all learn from each other. So, for example, in the music video for Crypto Tutors, where we have it animated with a song playing, I brought up the idea of having like a music note bouncing on top of each of the words. And actually somebody from our marketing team brought up, just use a cryptocurrency coin. People will get the idea and it'll still be on brand. I was like, oh, that's so amazing. So no matter what department or team that they come from, we encourage brainstorming within our company, and we have team meetings every week where everybody collaborates to bring up, to talk to each other. How can we work together on this and make it the best project? Are you there?
I think we got too hot there for. No worries, the joys of going live. So I think, you're bringing up some very, very good points. Like I said, in terms of I think it's the little things that make a difference. So you talked about kind of having the coin bouncing as recognition. And for me, it reminds me of my days in China, like the karaoke where you have like the little bouncing things like that. So all these little elements, I think, bring it to life. And I think it's a lot of times we don't think about it as content creators. Is always little elements can make a huge difference. Even like, a bouncing coin going across each word to really help bring it all together. So many really, really practical tips that, once again, I think I always look for you for a creative inspiration. I think there's a lot of really, really good tips in here, Nina. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And, I think that in the e-learning courses that we do, the 3D and the 2D animation really help to take our content to the next level. You know, as you saw the bird flying across the screen, you know, that was just a 2D illustration graphic, and all of a sudden now it's flying, and it increases the engagement. And that's really what people want. They want fun things that you know, are keeping their attention. And nowadays that only gets harder and harder. So using 2D and 3D animation definitely helps.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very good point for anyone creating content on a regular basis. So, Nina, I could talk to you all day. I know it's getting late there, so I'll let you get to bed soon. But thank you so much. I guess, you know, we've already talked about some of the ways which people can get in touch with you, but maybe what is one way people can get in touch with you going forward?
Yeah, I would say 3 points. One, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll accept your connection request. Definitely subscribe to the Let's Brainstorm YouTube channel. And Let's Brainstorm creates all of the content for crypto tutors. So if you want to see some of the creative works that we're doing for that brand, definitely subscribe to Crypto Tutors on YouTube as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're getting some praise from the audience. Well, thank you so much, Nina. Really, really appreciate you coming on the show. If you're watching or listening, do feel free to share this episode. So many good tips that I would recommend even watching it again. So thank you guys so much. Stay safe, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.